Tonight, a Markham teen faces stunt driving charges while holding a G2 license. Newmarket could get 2 new hotels, and Regional Councillor Joe Lee has decided not to run in the provincial election. Sunny 19. This update is brought to you by Ray Cotolo on 148.ca. Rogue Planets, Rebels in Space on 148.ca/Frank. I'm Philip Hong from SRR National News, and now here's Rod and Ray and Mike with North American Harness Update on SRN1.
The starter has called the field to the gate. This field is in motion and approaching the start. And they're off. And it's a battle into the first turn for control. The battle continues by the half and approaching the far turn. Stride for stride past the three-quarter pole and approaching the top of the stretch. And as they hit the top of the stretch, it's Mission Brief, foiled again, Muscle Hill, Captain Treacherous, and Vegas Vacation. Lucky Jim, a rock and roll dance, be a magician. Sebastian K approaches the line. Guccio is coming late, and as they hit the wire, it's too close to call.
Now here's North American Harness Update on SRN1.
Once on the road, and now off the road, because let's be honest, the road is not the best place to do a podcast from, mostly because the broadband connection's fairly weak on the interstate. Not only that, there's no outlets. Depending on what kind of road you're on, they usually have signs that say no outlets just in case you're carrying your charger with you and you realize, oh, can't charge it there. That said, North American Harness Update back in the home studio. I am your host, Ray Cotolo, joined here by the now unmuted dynamic duo that follows me? No, that joins me. They do it out of their own free will every week, because why would people follow me to begin with? We got Mike Pribozie and Rod Allums Jr. They're also back from the wicked road trip we had last weekend from Vernon Downs to the Meadowlands racetrack, back to my house. At least that was the last stop for me. And
yeah, your trip was easy.
Yeah, well, Rod, some of us decided that LaGuardia is not the best place for a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, I didn't fly into LaGuardia or out.
Oh, you flew into...
Rod didn't sleep for 3 days.
I flew into Long Island.
I said, Rod, take a nap. He's like, I can't sleep during the day. I said, Rod, you've been up 45 hours. You can sleep anytime.
And then Rod's response, Rod, you answered that question almost like you've answered it a million times in your life, where you just said, I can't sleep during the day.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And then, if you watch the video, you can watch it on NahooPicks.com. There's a point in the broadcast where Rod actually fell asleep with his eyes open, with the sunglasses on. I'm standing next to him. I'm like, he's out. He was gone.
Here was the funnier thing, though, is after he said I can't fall asleep during the day, he's walking around the hotel room, and Mike says, why don't you sit down? He goes, I can't, or else I'll fall asleep.
The whole thing was just unbelievable.
Well, the experience was unbelievable, no doubt.
Yeah, we said history. We said history last week.
That's right. In that video, the video is there. It can be up. I can send it to you, Rod. We got the footage, not only recorded, but live last week at the final race on the Vernon Downs card. We got Rod to drive a horse. He couldn't win, unfortunately, but he was never a good driver to begin with. And and what we did...
I was rooting for him.
Oh, that's true. You can hear very faintly Mike, as energetically as he could, go, come on, Rod. It was the most...
He's getting nothing.
It was the most emotion I had heard from you since you started this show.
Yes.
And we had that race broadcasted live on our stream from Rod in the sulky. So, Rodney, congratulations on that. Not congratulations on losing. You're a loser for that. And this show's only for winners. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will be Rod's last show. He will be
Stream?
he will be starting his own podcast called North American Loser Update, hosted by Rod Loser Allums. But tonight on the
we made history, so I wanted to win the race, but we couldn't win, but we still made history.
Well, that's the thing with history, is it's all made up. So tonight on the show, we're back to history. Yeah, history's made up. We're back to the normal setup. The normal setup being me not being able to construct a sentence and also purposely making myself look stupid versus the sheer amount of professionalism we showed last week. So basically, I'm trying to ruin my image. You two can keep up whatever image you guys want. And tonight on the show, we got a lot of racing to talk about. Live racing-wise, we got the London Pick 4 like we do every week, but that's going to start coming to a close. I believe next week is their last week of racing. Rod, you can confirm this for me?
No.
Oh, really? I thought
they got another month, I think.
Really? I thought they were
until the last weekend in May.
Yeah.
Oh, then they must have moved. Oh, wait, is that when the Camluck Classic is?
Yes, that's closing night.
Okay, because for some reason I thought it was the Saturday of the Derby. No, it's at the end of May.
Cal Expo ends next weekend.
Cal Expo does end next weekend, and that means that will be the end of this season's Cal Extras, which you can also find on our Twitter and Facebook and YouTube feeds. Those usually come out on Saturdays for the Cal Expo Late Pick 4, but that's enough of that. On this show, we have London to talk about, and we also have 2 Pick 4s to preview for tomorrow, because this might be the last of the kind of Pick 4s shows before the stakes season really kicks off next week. We got the Meadowlands Late Pick 4 to talk about for Saturday, and the Woodbine, Mohawk Park Early Pick 4 to talk about also for Saturday, both of which guaranteed pools of 50,000. I'm pretty sure Woodbine Mohawk's still 50,000. It's not 75 yet.
That is correct. 50,000.
$50,000. I'm a college student, but I'm not really showing it by the fact I can't construct sentences. But $50,000 is a lot of money, and a lot of money to possibly be had. All that and more coming up within the next 2 hours, as well as whatever in the heck I decide to say and whatever comes out of my mouth, and whatever you guys decide to do either, although you two are pretty predictable at this point. So this is London Pick 4. We're going to start with race number 7, as you should, because that's when the sequence starts. You can't bet it in any other race, or else you're getting gypped, you're getting scammed, you're getting robbed. And this race is actually... This sequence was very interesting, and you'll see it within our tickets too, because there's a lot of overlap between all of us. We almost agree across the board, and this first race is kind of an example of that. This is a race featuring a lot of real green horses. It's a non-winners of 5,000 lifetime, if I'm not mistaken. I open up my PPs. That is correct. Non-winners of 5,000 lifetime, and these are trotters, young trotters on the half. These are the races I live for. So, Rod, I want to start off with you. You're the deepest of all of us. You're taking 4.
Yeah, I'm 4 deep to start. Starting from the inside, the 1 PC glide line. Last week at the 7-hole, left and got a 2-hole trip. I think, switching posts, this horse actually surprised me leaving last week. I tossed the horse and, just expected another trip from the back, but from the rail tonight, I think she takes off out of the gate and tries to secure a 2-hole trip again. Definitely deserves some respect from the rail. The 2, Jam and Jack. This one, first lifetime start. The last qualifier, I liked a little bit. Coming half and 59 in a piece. This one doesn't show very much, but Scott Coulter drives, draws the inside, and they brought the horse to London to try to get some money. So I'm going to throw that one in there. The 4, impressively done. Made a break last time. This horse either wins or runs, I think, in this race. Not a lot to add for that one. And then the 5, Buckeye Babe. this is the experienced horse in this field. Got 9 lifetime starts. Last time she left, cut the mile and just faded late. Get a driver change to Robert Shepard tonight, and I do like this horse's chances as long as they don't go wicked fractions up front. If they go any kind of fractions, this horse will probably be packing it in late. So 1, 2, 4, 5.
Mike, you kind of streamline those contenders down a bit more. You're taking 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm just 4 or 5. I do think it's a bit chalky. Tough race. I didn't like the one just because of the break 2 back at the gate and now gets the rail. That sort of bothers me a little bit. I don't like these young trotters moving inside necessarily. And the 2 I wasn't really sure about. I do like the connections, but I'm curious why they're here after those 2 Woodbine qualifiers. The 4 is obvious. 1, 2 starts in a row, then broke basically at the gate last time at 6-5. Behaves and will likely control things with Carroll. And then the 5, Buckeye Bay, third back, which I like. The horse, just has contending lines. Nothing hugely impressive, and has burnt a fair amount of money, and that's an issue for me typically. But, the horse is consistent, always trots, and in this race, that's very important. So 4 or 5.
I'm 1, 4, 5 in here. That break is a bit concerning, Mike, but the other thing too is from the 7 hole last time was able to get off the gate and maintain stride. So that was a more positive move in my direction. The rail might not be the most prime spot, but right now she is definitely a contender here, even though she's 2-1 on the board at the moment. I got nothing really special there. I got the 3 betting choices. The one thing I do have to say though is I watched those qualifiers from the 2 Jam and Jack, and this horse seems really kind of grabby, or there was something about his stride that I did not like, especially coming to a half-mile track. I just have a feeling he might not take to the turns too well, and that again,
really taking a nickel currently, either 25-1.
Yeah, he's 25-1 as well, but that could also mean Rod's onto something. So I'm not gonna say that's necessarily a bad thing. I was just observant and did my homework, unlike I normally do, and I was not impressed with those qualifiers. So I got nothing impressive. 1, 4, 5 in this opening leg. Second leg though of this sequence is a $15,000 condition claiming pace, and this race could potentially be interesting. We got some decent horses lined up here, some we've been seeing throughout the season. And Rod, to start with you, you're 3 deep.
Yeah, 3 deep. The 3 is scratched in here, which I was using, but I'm sticking inside. The 1 is Brave as My Mama. I like this horse, got the rail. Last time this horse drew, halfway inside the 5 hole, he did leave, tripped out. It was against Cheaper, but, this horse has been drawn outside every week and finally draws inside. I think you see some speed from this horse tonight, and this horse should be a good price with Scott Ray driving. The 2, Apple Tart Hanover, I think you have to use her. This is a softer bunch than what she's been facing, other than a couple that she was in with. But draws inside again. This horse gets let alone on the lead. She's definitely going to be dangerous like she usually is when she's left alone. If she gets run at a little bit, then I think she's going to be in trouble. And then the 4, So Long Sugar. Last week, awesome mile first over, or mile and 16th. First up for a long way. The horse race really good. Before that, got in hooked wheels and didn't finish, but showed speed in other starts before that. So, this horse is a little bit versatile, so I think you should use this one no matter what. A little bit chalky with those 2, but my price is the 1. So 1, 2, and 4 for me.
Now, Mike, as a person who also subscribes to the 1, 2, and 4, is there anything Rodney missed?
Not really. Nothing to add. The 1 gets post relief, easy use, and like Rod said, should be a little bit of a price. The 2 is going to control the race from the inside, especially with the 1 inside. There's no way that this horse doesn't get the front early. It's just a matter of, does the 4 get the pocket behind, or does the 1 leave like Rod thought? And that's a possibility. The 4, So Long Sugar, probably in the best form, no chance 2 back, just totally pitch that race. You look at the other, the last 4 races, and this horse is right there, especially near the front. 1, 2, 4, nothing crazy.
I'm not a big fan of Apple Tart Hanover in this race. She seems to be going backwards, and I mean that in more ways than one, because not only is her form going backwards, but a lot of times when she's on the lead, it looks like she's going backwards because that relative motion, how it works, I'm not here to describe relative motion. Point being, Apple Tart Hanover to me seems like she's going to be overbet for the form she's showing, and the form she's showing seems to be negative. That said, I'm still 1-4 here. If So Long Sugar can in any way replicate that race she put in last week, she should win, just because when a horse goes first over and wins a race, I mean, it's hard to say that that's not the best horse unless, the pace is fast and she's just catapulting into contention late, but that wasn't the case there. So that said, I'm 1-4. I think As Brave as My Mama 2 should be a bit more forwardly placed from the inside, and if not, then that's not really a good use of a rail post. And I mean, I'm not a driver, but I know how circles work. 1-4 for me. In the second leg, third leg, moving on this sequence, race number 9, now is a $25,000 lifetime. And now, Rod, you used the 3, 5, and 7 just like me, and so tell me why I should use these horses.
Yeah, 3D, 3, 5, 7 to 3. Coming off 2 qualifiers, made some breaks. Hopefully has the issues straightened out. If those issues are straightened out, then I think this horse is probably the one to beat in here. This one is kind of a 50-50 chance you're taking, especially at a short price. The 5 Sentinel Sealster. This horse has some early speed, but has also raced well and won from off the pace. So very versatile horse. I like that, especially in a race where there's a lot of question marks. And for mid-pack, I think Tyler Borth can kind of pick and choose what he's going to do behind the gate as they leave it. And then the 7, BJ Savannah. This one first over last week. I thought had no chance at the 3/4 pole and just kept plugging along and finished a good second. Gonna have some horses to pass, but this one has shown speed in the past as well. I don't think this horse leaves tonight, but if they do go some quick fractions early, this one should be coming late and going right by everybody if they go fast. So 3, 5, 7.
Rod, as I was writing down what I thought about this race, you nailed every single word that I put down, and I couldn't agree more. Mike, though, for you're adding on one more horse to R3, and why is that?
I think the 4's worth a use, third back. I like Kelly. This horse, tripped out to win on that really bad snow night. And, it was hard to see, but this horse definitely closed that night, kind of came out of the snow to win. Then last time broke, really no chance, was 3-1 in that race. Third time now, and, contends with these. There's some question marks, too, with the others. I mean, the 3's off a layoff, even though I'm using the 5, didn't race very well on that snow night, even at 5-2, and then raced a little better last time at 11-1. But is outposted here for sure compared to the 4. And the 7 is worth a use, but tends to get more shares than wins, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I feel like that those 4 do dominate the race, the 3, 4, 5, and 7.
One more leg to go in this pick 4, and that would be the 10th race, because that's the 4th race in this sequence of 4. It's like I'm a magician that knows math, because I just knew that was going to happen. I knew it was coming up, and this race in particular, $7,000 claiming filly and mare pace. Now, Mike, I'm going to start this off with you, because you went with the obvious way, because it really seems like this race is cut down to 2 horses in particular, and those are the 2 you used.
It's very hard to look past the favorites in here. I really have not much clever. The 1, Hawaiian Drummond, got the rail last time, got a perfect trip, opened up 6 lengths, and then held on to win at even money in fast time. Gets the rail again. This horse signaled a wake up 2 back from the 6 hole when, had a wide trip and came flying for second at 45-1. Keep Shepherd here. Extremely obvious. The 4, Jess Blitzed. Was claimed for 7,000, off a win last time. Patrick Shepherd, he's only 30%, and most of his claims move up. The horse has won 5 times this year. I would expect this horse to be 2-5, 1 and 4 to finish in a very, very formful pick 4.
I know exactly how you use formful there, Rod. Though you and I agree again on this last leg, and I'm gonna conjecture here. I'm gonna hypothesize why you use the 2 St. Lad's picks. Are you thinking pocket trip?
Yep.
I'm thinking pocket trip too, baby. That's the only way this horse could really win, because the 1 and 4 are that much of standouts.
Yeah, I mean, if the 2 gets the trip and they battle up front, because the 4 is going. So if somebody tries to run at the 4, the 2 is going to be in a perfect spot because the 1 doesn't have a ton of gate speed. So that's why I use this horse. And this horse, you look at these lines, and this horse is right near the front, especially the last 2 starts from the 6 and 7 hole, right on or near the lead in pretty quick fractions. So I definitely expect this one to be right up close.
That said, here's my pick 4 ticket as they're post-parading now for the 7th from London. My pick 4 goes as follows. 145 with 1-4 with 357 with 124, $10.80 for 20 cents. Mikey Mike, your ticket.
4-5 with 124 with 3-4-5-7 with 1-4. It's $9.60 for 20 cents.
Wow, it's rare that you have the cheap one. Rod, your ticket.
1-2-4-5 with 1-2-4 with 3-5-7 with 1-2-4. It's $21.60.
That's right, $21.60 with the scratch of Michael T. Donahue, whatever that horse's name was, in the 8th race.
You can see our picks posted on the Western Fair feed right now. They're showing them.
Well, I mean, they're your picks,
the same
Rod.
ones I just gave out.
Yeah, they're your picks. Don't be giving me any credit for this.
For those who don't know, Rod usually takes care of Western Fair. I typically do Woodbine Meadowlands, and I'll spot pick 4s and things like that. Rod will spot pick 4s and stuff and put stuff on the website. We did Vernon last week. Had the first 10 races last week at Vernon. The winner was in the top 3 picks, so it's there. We've had a pretty decent week this week. NahooPicks.com.
Yeah, and that included the 2 longest shots on the card at Vernon, the $20, well, actually 2 of the longest shots because there were 3 at the end with Mayflower Moonshine. But we had $20 winner, Velocity Kelly, in the race that I called. And then we had that Artie Dick horse that the name I can't remember was $50.
Yes.
And those were touted on NahooPicks.com as I'm wearing on my Rickshawed shirt made by Rodney's Mater, which these are.
I didn't do any Nahoo gear. I'm repping little pens this week.
Well, hey, any kind of sponsorship we can get, we appreciate, even if it's from a Major League Hockey team. 1 minute 30 seconds to go here.
Rod, the Blackhawks still playing, Rod?
Hockey.
They're not. They decided to take a break this year.
Yeah.
What if there was harness racing and hockey put together?
For the amount of crap you spew, like on this show, and you give me a hard time.
You're saying this is crap. I think this is a great idea. You got horses on ice.
Yeah, no, not a good idea.
Wait, why not?
How about this board at London right now? The 4's 3-1.
And the 2 is 7-2.
The 2's being bet now, which is very disturbing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to remember, early there's not much money in the pool, so.
Well, but this
But
horse
that's
is
the
now
good
taking
money. The good money's in early. The bad money's in late.
Listen, if you're playing my ticket, maybe add the 2 to the first race. Just saying.
Oh, you mean the ticket? So you want to make it my ticket?
No. I'm making an observation.
As a person who makes observations, I'm going to defend Mike here. It was purely a sight that he noticed and he said something about, which I will look up the definition of observation after this race because
I'm allowed to shift gears.
I have a dictionary.
Oh no. You got 0 minutes to London. It's post time. It's a good thing you have something to do.
2-1.
2 just dropped down to 2-1.
2-1 favorite. Rod, stop betting so much money. 2-1 here on the 2 Jammin' Jack. 5-2 on the 4 Impressively Done. And
Sharon
then
Doyle says giddy up on this late pick 4. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't he's supposed to be calling this race like me? Oh, this is
you, but you're still screwing around.
this is conflicting. What are my values? Horses are lining up here. Now 5-2. The favorite, the 2, Jam and Jack, also at 5-2. The 4, Impressively Done. Third choice at 9-2. The 1, PC Glide Line, and the 7, Finnair. Field of 8 trotters lined up for the 7th from London. In motion at the start, off and trotting. JJ's Julianne on a break. Finnair did not catch the gate, leaving out Jam and Jack from PC Glide Line to the inside. Those two contest for the front end of that first turn. Up the inside, Windsong Ophelia up to take third from Drunken Disorderly fourth. Off stride to that opening quarter went Jam and Jack. So in front here, PC Glide Line into the backside. Second away, Windsong Ophelia from Buckeye Babe, who goes off stride from third. Inheriting that spot, Impressively Done, now about 4 lengths off the lead. Moving up then comes Drunken Disorderly into fourth. Outside, JJ's Julianne back on stride. Buckeye Babe towards the back through a 32-second opening quarter. Finnair back there too. Around the turn, PC Glide Line leads by 2 1/4. Second to the pocket, Windsong Ophelia trying to tighten that position. Off the rail and moving comes the favorite, Impressively Done. Overland and uncovered into the stretch first time, but still has to get up to PC Glide Line, who leads here by 2 1/2. On cover then as they come onto that halfway point is Finnair to the inside, then JJ's Julianne. Half was 105. And 33-1 for that second quarter. A slow tempo for these trotters, circling that turn and moving to the backside on circuit 2. It's PC Glide Line in control from Impressively Done to the outside, now marching up to his wheel into the backstretch. Windsong Ophelia is locked to the inside in third. It's a gap then to JJ's Julianne, and who is stride for stride with Finnair as they come onto that 3/4 pull. In front still, PC Glide Line outside, Impressively Done, now up to match strides off that third panel. 1:35-3. Here comes Jam and Jack back into contention, drawing within a length and 3/4 of the lead. Inside then, Windsong Ophelia locked in and shuffled to fourth to the top of the stretch here. PC Glide Line turns away, Impressively Done. Deeper on the track comes Jam and Jack once more, but coming to the line, PC Glide Line, Impressively Done to the outside. PC Glide Line held on to win. Up for third, then Windsong Ophelia from Jam and Jack. Off stride at the line, fourth towards the center of the track. 2:05-3.
Yeah.
Wow, Rod and I are alive.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that worked out nice for you guys.
Well,
Right.
Nice, very nice.
especially when you get a 105 half.
Yes, that's usually, if you can't win off a 105 half on the lead, it's probably time to pick a different race.
I've been in racing for, oh God, how long has it been? I've been in racing for almost 10 years. I've never seen a half go in 105.
I have. I was in one at Balmoral. Balmoral.
Wait, why?
Wow. Did they fall down, Rod?
No, it
Get
was
back up and still went 105.
it was minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and there was about a 40-mile-an-hour wind. And every race, there was one race that went in 1:59.4 that night. Everything else was 2:02 or slower.
I was going to say, if it was a race you were driving in, there was no way they would get to the half in 105.
No, it was so brutally cold that night. I mean, we couldn't function. There was half the card.
But I mean, in Chicago, that's just perfect racing weather.
No, it's terrible racing weather.
Oh, I thought that's why they would race, is because it's just prime conditions.
No. I actually scratched all my horses that night, and I should have just scratched myself as well. That was horrible. Never again.
Wait, why wouldn't you do that? If your horses aren't going to go out there, why would you go out there?
Needed to make some money.
Money is not worth that much. That's the name of my new book. Which reminds me, observation. I didn't forget, but I'm going to forget it because I don't feel like looking in that dictionary. PC Glide Line wins it at 9-2 here. I don't know. Do you think that's going to be a good start to this pick 4?
It's not bad.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
That's not.
It's better than being out like me.
I think it's probably closer to like 4-1 in the pick 4.
I think even less probably, but whatever.
Just because the horse has the rail.
It depends how much money the 2 took in the ticket. I think that's, kind of.
2 things to say. One, of course, that race was the Equistro feature, which the Equistro, of course, is a bistro, except the chefs are horses. And 2, I don't know, I'm just obsessed with that idea. I love it. And 2, those qualifiers I said about Jam and Jack, what did he do? He broke around the turn.
I thought the 2 raced pretty well considering.
Oh, yeah, he still did.
Probably 25 lengths the best.
Mm-hmm.
And lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But again, it was a 205 race, and that horse didn't really look like he would handle those turns too well.
No.
Uh-oh.
Next time. He'll win next time big.
Possible pylon violation on the 1. Inquiry sign is up.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Shortest way around, boys.
Mike would know, certainly.
My ticket's back in play.
I was just going to say, because on Thursday we were playing a Mohawk.
Yeah.
Mike, do you remember Thursday we were playing Mohawk? And then that horse you bet went up the pylons. It was a fun time.
And I knew right away.
like around the turn, you just had a feeling that was going to happen because the horse wasn't getting out.
Yeah. I knew, and he was DQ'd.
I wonder why.
Ray likes to come to my... There's 1 pylon. There's dose. No violations. Just do whatever you want it with. It's all good.
Hey, it's less than 3.
A couple pylons win by half a length, and you're good. You're good.
If the horse went inside 3 pylons, then that's at least like, what, a 16th of a mile advantage?
I want to know what constitutes a pylon violation when you win by a neck and you went inside 2 pylons. That's no unfair advantage, apparently. I don't. What do I know about racing?
I'm asking the same question, but about myself. If anyone has the answer to this, please tweet at us.
The show to explain this to me.
If anyone has the answer to what I know about racing, please tweet at NA Harness Update. I am desperate to find out because I've been doing this for at least 5 years and I still have no idea. That said, 1482, the official order in that 7th race. No violations. Will be going. The price will be up momentarily. That said, it's 9:32 on the East Coast, which you know what they say: East Coast, best coast. People think that's about the West Coast, but West and best don't rhyme. I'm sorry. Best and East. Now, that's a rhyme. And what we have here is not Ray digressing into whatever he does after the first race at London, as has been tradition for at least the last, 4 months? No. But because we have so much racing to talk about, it's time, boys. You guys better be in your seats. I know Mike's in his seat because before the show, he specifically said, let me get into my seat. And Rod, I think you're sitting. Yeah, of course you're sitting. You can't stand.
Yeah, I'm not wearing pants again.
I was going to say your body can't stand because of muscular degeneration, but I guess you can break the illusion that way. It's like if Walter Cronkite was covering the Vietnam War, and at the very end he said, and all this happened while I wasn't wearing pants. For CBS News, I'm Walter Cronkite. And then we realize that's the worst Walter Cronkite impersonation ever. But since you guys are sitting, and Rod, I guess since you're de-pantsed, we have more racing to talk about. That's right. Are you guys really not that shocked? Are you not excited? Are you not exuberant about this? I was expecting a bit more of a hoopla.
I'm still going back to the no pants comment, and I'm really mystified.
Wait.
Why are you mystified? I said that last week.
No, you didn't.
Also, you were wearing pants last week. I saw them.
I said I was not wearing pants last week at Vernon.
Oh. Well, that could be because we were sleepwalking, so that's possible.
Yeah.
That's actual reality.
Is sleepwalking something you can only do without pants?
No.
Is that what
It's
caused?
more likely. I think it's more likely than actual awake. You know,
So is the only
especially
thing
in public.
is the only thing preventing
Massive break at Woodbine.
is the only thing preventing you from sleepwalking the weight of pants?
No, but I think like if you're asleep, most people ain't sleep with pant. Okay.
One
Typically.
pant. One leg.
And you're more likely to sleepwalk no pant. That's my opinion.
You're a doctor. I was expecting more of a factual analysis.
Listen, that's just my thoughts.
From an opinion to a thought now. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Mike is rescinding his thoughts. But, and I don't mean but as a pun, Rod, but
Let me ask you this: Is this the show you actually keep us on task? Like, what's going on here?
I don't know, but I'm kind of intrigued by the fact that when I take professional, you guys take my role, and I'm kind of playing with it right now.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious, to be honest.
Ray, and then you have like quotation marks, the consummate professional.
Right.
Wait,
I mean, that's what
An
it is.
entire crowd of people laughing.
all on my business card, the word consummate's all over it.
Right, yeah, because that always happens in your world.
Actually, I had the idea to make a business card, and I still have not done it because, it costs money. But what I want to do for my business card is I wanted to have it, it would say, like, dentist. The dentist would be crossed out. It would say magician. It would be crossed out. And then it would say comedian, and that would be circled. I thought that would be a creative business card, but then again, I also hate calling myself a comedian because that means I have to be
Someone will
funny.
thieve that now.
What?
Someone will be thieving that idea.
Well, they can have it because I don't really want it that much. I'm not a comedian. I am a truth seeker.
I see.
I'm looking into the camera because this means a lot to me. I am out to find the truth, not like the X-Files. But I was about to make a joke that I probably shouldn't on the air, but at the same time, I also probably shouldn't make jokes. I should probably say more profound things, like from the dictionary, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's right there, but I'm showing restraint tonight.
You said encyclopedia.
It's
They're
on it.
not the same book, right?
No, it's the Webster's American Dictionary. I can grab the Dictionary of American Slang if you want. You clearly don't want me to do that.
Punch tickets while you guys are screwing around.
Oh, now it's us screwing around, Mr. One-panted sleepwalker. Mr.
What do you mean one panted?
One-panted, not stirred, Mr. Bond. That's how he likes his martinis.
If anyone's interested, it's 5 minutes to race 7 at Meadowlands. I know we're not really doing that tonight, but that's where the pick 4 starts.
Well, we're doing tomorrow's pick 4.
I'm going to play my ticket that's posted on Yahoo Picks right now.
Well, for those who might not be on Yahoo Picks right now, Mr. Pribozie, what might those numbers be?
Oh, okay, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Pick 4 Meadowlands starts now, race 7. 3, 4, 5, 8 in the first leg, then 2, 5, 6, 8, then 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 4, 9 to finish. It's $72, and I am playing right now.
All right, I'm expecting updates as that sequence. Okay, Rod.
You punching it, Rod?
Huh?
You playing?
Well, I thought about playing your ticket.
I'm
Think harder.
I'm about to punch something else instead of a ticket.
We got a celebrity cameo here.
Oh, who is it?
Oh my God, is that Christoph Waltz?
Where?
That's
It's a little boy.
I mean that's almost Christoph Waltz. I mean, have you seen him? He's just a little more chiseled.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Yeah, he does.
By what, doing this thing?
Well, that's kind of Rod's thing.
Yeah.
Just get him a pair of sunglasses, and he'd be like a little Rod.
I don't want anything to do with Lil Rod. So,
Wow.
Meadowlands pick 4.
It's a family show.
That's why the little kid stopped by. Meadowlands pick 4 for Saturday.
Oh. We're going to Saturday.
Wait, yeah, this was the part where I was asking for the hoopla because we usually don't get to racing this quickly. And now I'm getting the oohs and the ahs and the e's and all the other vowel sounds. Let me tell you, Mr. Pribozie, last week was the week to worry about Old MacDonald's farm because Old MacDonald was driving there. I didn't get to use these jokes. I had this idea that I ended up chickening out on, like a lot of things I did last week. And the idea was, for every show, I would write one-liners specific to that racetrack. And the one-liner I wrote was that John McDonald, he was the leading driver here last year at Vernon Downs, and we talked with him before the show, and he promised, he said that, wait, I already messed up the joke. John McDonald. This was the other idea for the segment, was me messing up the one-liners. So John McDonald, who is the elder and the patriarch of the McDonald family, he was the leading driver last year at Vernon Downs, and so we talked with him before the show, and he said that if he won enough races during opening night at Vernon Downs, then old McDonald would open up his farm to the rest of the alphabet. So 1, 2, 3. These are the beats where I'm waiting for the laugh.
Crickets, Rod.
6, 7. It takes 7 beats for you to get that joke.
Yeah. Did you hear the crickets that were just going?
The cricket passed away in 2015 from mesothelioma. He's no longer with us. And now, if Kyle Burton happens to be listening tonight, I'm expecting him to tweet from the grave with that dumb account he made.
Do you have, like, asbestos in the house?
It's asbestos. We don't have asbestos.
No, it's not.
I don't have a sound for that, though.
Rod, if it's a fart noise, I am leaving this show. I am threatening and also incentivizing right now.
I've been trying to find
Rod. It's just like last week. Come on, Rod.
I don't have a fart noise. I want
You
one.
probably could, whip up something.
Maybe. I'm trying to get my own, like, personalized soundboard. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your own personalized fart noise, and I was getting confused. But look,
No, I can make those.
look, I can't be the only one that just feels that he exists in a hell of his own creation.
Rod, who do you have here? 1, 2, 4.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Who does Rod have? Oh, it's my turn. Yes, I'm 1-4.
1, 4.
Yeah,
Both being bad.
4-1. If you're watching the feed right now, you'll see 4-1 is my top 2.
yeah, but then you have the
Plus
2
you
as
got
your third choice.
Terry Astic's on there. Lightning J. They made it on there too.
But that's it.
Yeah.
No one else is on there.
Well, Luno's always on there.
Yeah, and also always on there. NahooPicks.com. You can't really see it on this shirt though.
That's not you.
You can see it on the live feed that I'm showing right now.
There you go.
Oh wow, Rod, that is super convenient, and it's almost like it was designed that way.
Yeah.
This 8th race at London's coming up in about 2 minutes. They're gonna be coming onto the track soon. 3-2 favorite, the one. As true as my mom. I can't read from this far. As brave as my mama. 3-2 favorite. 5-2 here. The 6. Rousey Ronda. Is that a little low? I think that's low on Rousey Ronda. Now 3-1.
Yeah, she's been off form. That's my issue with her.
She needs to get her own way, and she's outside, and that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really.
She can rebound, but she's just been.
The one's a bit overbet here, though.
But the 4 is also going down. Was 3-1
Really.
and now 2-1. But Apple Tart Hanover's
Be
6-1.
the favorite here.
How is it 2-6-1 in the race? Somebody help me, please.
Those last few races just aren't that good.
Well, you could toss the race 2 back. That was a complete, total toss-out.
Yeah, but that last race in particular.
And then was parked every step 3 back.
Her last race in particular.
Yeah, I mean, she did.
How can this horse be 6-1? Look at these 2 races. What about the last one? Okay, you're probably right.
Okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like circumstances are going to dictate this horse gets an easier trip in the race.
It's possible.
I mean, who knew that the 1 was going to get a 205, half in the last or whatever it was.
Well, I mean, the 4
105.
challenged first over last time, so you can assume that she's going to be a bit forwardly placed. Rousey Ronda's probably going to push off the gate. It seems
I
like...
don't think Rousey Ronda goes in the night.
Really? You don't think she leaves?
Nah.
I don't really...
Well, she can't beat the 2 or the 4 to the front, so...
And then the 1 should be leaving too. At least, again, should. Doesn't mean will.
The 1 can get out of there enough.
What does enough mean?
Be second or third.
I was gonna say, because if you can predict a quarter would go in 27, Rod, I'm expecting you to predict what exact position this horse will be in at the quarter.
No, they'll probably go like 28-3, 28-4.
How does he
I
know?
can see that this horse is going to be third off the gate, I would think.
How does he
They're
know?
Rousey Ronda's moving outside. The last time in the 6 hole they sat.
She's 2-1 right now, second choice. I
Not
think
my type, really.
9 is So Long. All right, So Long Sugar's 2-1. That's still that's value. 2-1 on So Long Sugar.
Well, I think So Long Sugar ends up first over again.
That's not a bad thing.
The race sets up for the 1, I think.
Do you want 3-1 though?
No.
Well, I don't.
I mean, the horse was 24-1 last time, and the same against the same
If I
horse.
was betting,
And I almost won when she was
this
23.
race, I would probably be playing the 2 just because the 2 can get left alone.
It is
If Shelly was sitting on the 1, I'd be more interested, but he's not.
5-1 on the 2. That still seems a little low. 9-2 now. Yeah, she's going down, and I'm not really attracted. I'm not attracted to that kind of price.
What would it have to be for you to be interested?
Like 7 or 8-1.
You're never going to get that in this race.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like her.
I mean,
Like,
I could see getting 7 or 8-1 on the 1 in the right scenario, especially if the 6 continues to make money and the 1 drifts. But I just can't. There's no way you're ever going to get 7-1 on the 2.
that's what I think she's worth, because that last race in particular does not stand out to me.
Well, then you pitch and you move on.
Yeah, that's what. What do you think I'm doing? Have I not been clear? I totally pitched her off the ticket.
Would you rather have the 1 or the 2
The 1.
at 7-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to win, but on the pick 4.
We already have that. That ticket's already punched.
That's what I mean.
It's a whole different scenario.
Okay, if we're talking, I don't have any pick 4. I'm looking at this race. It's probably a pass, honestly.
And that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. My dad always said, my dad, Frank Cotolo, who promised that he's going to come on the show at some point tonight. He says that any race you pass is a race you win.
Yeah, I think that's a bad cliche.
Not necessarily.
You know.
Look, it's an article of Zen, which
Okay.
that I know
I
every.
don't want to argue with Frank, really.
If
But
you were
if you're taking 7-2 on the 1, when the horse has been 25-1, 23-1, 6-1, 9-1, and 27-1 the last 5 races, you need a gun.
I mean, the horse is live. The
Horse
horse is
drew inside. That's the thing.
the horse
I
is
understand that, but it doesn't matter.
the horse is clearly live. He's walking around and breathing. Thank you,
The 4-2-1 is value, I believe.
Henny Youngman,
I
ladies and
agree.
gentlemen.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like 2-1's way too high on this horse.
Actually,
Mike had a eureka. That's not the name of his kidney stone. That's not the name of his kidney stone. Do you think that... Interesting idea. A Rolling Stones tribute band called the Kidney Stones.
no.
Okay.
No.
No.
Have
Well,
you ever had a kidney stone?
no.
Nobody wants that.
I'm knocking on wood right now. I stay very hydrated for a specific reason. It's not because dehydration is the enemy.
It's tough to sell kidney stone to anyone.
Also, not because Mr. T told me to drink 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Although that was a heavy influencer. Anything Mr. T says to do, you kind of feel obligated to do it.
You gonna tell him no?
No, because then he'd pity the fool, and I'm not a fool.
Exactly.
I'm not a fool. I'm a clown to some people, but
Well, that's true. I mean, we've established that many times before.
they're lining up. And maybe it's because I storm into my own video feed. Who knows? 2-1 on the 4, So Long Sugar. 3 at 7-2. The 1 is Brave as My Mama. The 6, Rousey Ronda. And the 8, Who's Your Lucky Lady? 8th from London in motion. Approaching the start. Off and pacing. Apple Tart Hanover fast away. So Long Sugar 2. And Rousey Ronda out to try and secure 3rd into that first turn. As Brave as My Mama gets away 4th in front of Who's Your Lucky Lady from the 2nd tier. 5th. It's back then to Rock'em Sock'em and What Makes Me Win. As the field now lines up single file to the opening quarter, led by Apple Tart Hanover. So Long Sugar in the pocket. 3rd away, Rousey Ronda from As Brave as My Mama. 4th, Who's Your Lucky Lady still 5th. Half and half out 6th, Rockin' Sock'em, and still wide towards the rear slightly, What Makes Me Win. 29-1 that opening quarter. Circling the far turn first time, Apple Tart Hanover in her usual spot on the lead, a length and a half in front of the odds-on favorite. So Long Sugar 2nd, out and moving, jonesing for cover. Who's Your Lucky Lady gonna get it? As Rousey Ronda out and moving now from 3rd towards 2nd and up to challenge Apple Tart Hanover, moving to that half. On cover 2nd over As Brave as My Mama, pacing up towards 4th. Then 6th still, Rock'em Sock'em trying to enter that flow from the back. What Makes Me Win. Half goes, 1 minute flat, 30-4 that second quarter. Into the backside, Apple Tart Hanover a half length in front. Rousey Ronda to the outside, now drawing alongside as they come onto the 3-quarter pull. Pocket bound for So Long Sugar. She's a length and a half away. Dropping back As Brave as My Mama. Then up the inside, Rock'em Sock'em through 3 quarters. 128-3. 28-3 that third panel. Room for So Long Sugar to tip out around that turn. She's drafting behind Rousey Ronda, who's a neck off the lead. Held by Apple Tart Hanover to the top of the stretch. It's down to these 3. Apple Tart Hanover's held control from the start. She turns for home first, half a length in front of Rousey Ronda to the outside, center of the track. So Long Sugar, 16th pole. Apple Tart Hanover holding on. Rousey Ronda, So Long Sugar. Rousey Ronda might have gotten by Apple Tart Hanover on the line. So Long Sugar 3rd.
How does Rousey Ronda reverse form like that?
It's close at the wire here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who won that.
So what we learned is Apple Tart just needed a 16th of a mile less, possibly. And also,
I thought
Rousey...
she raced really good. She raced, I mean...
Well,
the
Rousey...
drive on the 4 was interesting, for sure.
Rousey Ronda also raced really well. 6-2-4... That's what it is. Yep, 6-2-4-5. Wow.
We could break early, you know. And then we have work to do.
We could do that. I could also go break something, but that would mean I'm mad. I'm not really a mad person.
I'm going to watch this Meadowlands race while you all play around.
Rod, can I be authentically mad? Is it possible for me?
Authentically mad?
Yeah, like if I were to be aggravated and attempt to convey it, would people just dismiss it as me being stupid or like a middle schooler trying to act out frustrations? Or would people be genuinely cowarding?
No.
I think the answer to this question is human growth hormone. I should take a lot of it.
Why not?
Wait, what? Why'd you say why not? Rod here. We have the Nahu crew, Ray Cotolo here, and Mike Pribozie, and Rod Allums, who is presented by Human Growth Hormone. If you could not tell, from his 150-pound physique.
Yeah.
You say hi, babe?
Okay, so if you have a what's the opposite of a poster child? Because Rod, that's you to human growth hormone.
Yes.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Okay, we're gonna take an audience poll right now. Rod, pull up the poll. If you think Rod looks like he's taking human growth hormone, please comment yes.
That kind of poll.
If you think he's not, comment no. We'll read your answers after the show.
I thought we were talking about a different poll.
After the show. Rod. There's so much off the record that I cannot say. Rodney. There's a reason why I have this book with me tonight. This book, the Holy Bible.
Something needs to save your butt.
Savior! That was the best joke of the night! I do mean that wholeheartedly. That's right. This is the Holy Bible as opposed to the version that is just segmented, the Partially Bible. We're going to break the Partially Bible. It can't beat Savior. That was so natural, and I could never come up with it. So I may not come back for the second hour. I might have hurled myself off a second-story window. Mike and Rod will be here, and we're going to be talking about... I'm still going to be here. I can't... No matter how hard I try, I can't escape this show. Albeit, I have not tried that hard. When we come back, as we have established, there will be a coming back had, because it's break time, or breakdown time, depending what you think of the break song. We have Meadowlands Pick 4, Mohawk Pick 4, and the remaining coverage of the London Pick 4, which all of us are out of because we didn't think Rousey Ronda could beat him. And I do mean beat him because Ronda Rousey, who she's named after, she beat people. It was her job. Not anymore, though. I think does she sell sandwiches now?
No, she's in wrestling.
She does wrestling now. Okay.
She sells sandwiches, really?
Well, J.K. Simmons went from having an Oscar to selling home insurance. I don't know how anything works anymore.
He gets paid handsomely for that.
Handsomely is right. Oh God, I was watching Whiplash. I'm going for a 6-year-old man. J.K. Simmons is wow. Woo. That's Gilbert Gottfried. Now I'm not going to do Gilbert. That's going to throw my voice out. We're coming back.
Weren't we supposed to go to break 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, but I had a case to make because I'm a lawyer now.
Junk.
More North American Harness update on the other side of the river. Stay tuned here on SRN1 and on video feed across the nation.
Philip Hong in Woodbridge. A Markham teen faces stunt driving charges while holding a G2 license. York Regional Police say one of its officers was giving a talk about speed enforcement to students at a high school last Thursday when a vehicle sped by outside the building. The officer clocked the driver's speed nearly 90 kilometers over the limit, leading to stunt driving and speeding charges against a 17-year-old. Newmarket could get 2 new hotels soon. A new hotel bearing a Marriott brand is set to be built around Harry Walker Parkway north of Davis Drive, while talks are underway to bring another major brand with a potential convention center with it. Chris Callio, Economic Development Officer for the town of Newmarket, claims council wants to keep tourists in town and use town amenities. Markham Regional Councillor Joe Lee has decided not to run for MPP. Lee, who has served on York Region Council since 2010, was planning a bid for the Progressive Conservative nomination for the riding of Markham-Unionville. Lee's statement claims personal, community, and partisan reasons for no longer seeking the nomination. Sunny 19 is in the forecast there. I'll have more updates on SRN1. For now, I'm Philip Hong.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome back to more Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I'm Jerry Seinfeld, joined here by a Mitsubishi Outlander and Mike Pribozie. Now, Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, I know in the first hour, I said we were going to get to the Meadowlands, but you know what? Things change in radio. We're saving the Meadowlands for last. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That means what else could possibly be left to talk about other than Woodbine, Mohawk Park. That's where our direction is heading towards right now. So as the captain of this ship, I set the sails up and I blow the breeze eastward. Well, actually, it should be northward for all of us. So I gotta shift the sails the other direction. Okay, we're heading up towards Woodbine Mohawk Park now. Quite literally, also May 19th. Book that date in your calendar. But
meet us up there.
Or vegetable. It depends what kind of diet you're into. And some people are vegan too, Rod.
I'm not.
Gotta be included. Mike's not vegan. He felt the need to put that information out there. So for everyone that's been saying Mike is vegan, you have to knock it off. This is your cease and desist.
No, not vegan.
Ray, you're echoing.
So, the Woodbine Mohawk Park pick 4 early thing starts with race number 4, as it does every race card. I'm not mistaken, right? That part hasn't changed, right? It's still race 4 to kick off the sequence.
Correct.
Okay. It's just the abbreviations now Woods instead of Mo, and so things are getting confusing now. And then they added the comma. It's like the comma's not necessary. Why are we putting a comma in the name? Why can't we just write it out? These are my personal qualms, or personal quamas, if you want the pun, but I really don't. I want to talk about this race. This race to kick off the sequence. Ooh, non-winners of 7. They don't write this condition all the time. They usually save this condition for the good horses. We got 1, 2, 4, 9 lining up here. Rod, you think that this is a race for the good horses because you're the deepest of all of us.
Yeah, and I actually might add one more in there, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to start with the 1, Rock This Way. This horse with the rail is a speed player, early speed player, likes to get away close and suck along, and is usually right there at the wire. Hit the board in 5 out of 8 starts this year. This horse is sharp right now. Last start coming back half in 55 and 2, and never really shook loose. So I think this horse fits well. And with the rail draw, once again, this horse is going to stay close. The 5, NASCAR Sealster. We know what this horse is capable of when he's on his game. 3rd start back, I think this horse should improve. Got bet down to the favorite last time. Didn't fire, but still raced pretty well. I think you got to use this one. The 6, JJ Mystic Storm, claimed by Moreau last start. This one is coming from Shane Barrington barn to Moreau. I think you're going to see improvement no matter how you look at it. The only concern for me really is that this horse was in for 8,000 tag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts ago. So, the horse is really sharp. So I'm going to use the horse lightly in this race. And then the 8 Humboldt, I'm going to throw this one on. I don't like the post, but this horse last week was flying late. If he got out sooner, I thought he was a winner. Raced really well. He ended up having to go like 6 wide. A repeat effort could put him in the winner's circle in this race. Pretty wide open race, I think. The other one I thought about using was the 2 Bills Fella, just based on that last qualifier. I thought was pretty stout, but I didn't throw him on the ticket. I thought maybe he'll need one, but if he's ready, he fits in here as well. So 1, 5, 6, 8.
Mike, 3 deep here. Who are those 3?
Yeah, I'm not sure what. I have a few problems with some of the stuff you said. For one, you left the winner off, the most likely winner, which is the 7 Tuxedo Bay, who was excellent last week. I'm surprised you didn't use this one. Really never looked like a loser the entire way around. Humboldt did get out late, but was never catching this horse. They could have went around again. This horse has been, top 2 last 3 starts. Impossible, I think, to go against. Should be out early and control the race again. He just beat this field last time and did it easily. The 1 had a stone cold perfect trip last night. I know because I bet him, and absolutely nothing in the stretch, so I don't really want him back. The 5, definite use, NASCAR Sealster, stakes horse last year, McIntosh, third back, has been closing, and he was just okay last time. I like the improvement, and I feel like if he gets a trip, he can maybe get a bigger piece of it. And then I'm going to use the 6 off the Moreau claim. He moves everything up. This horse has been flying down the middle of the racetrack most of the time against it in a lot of these 20 claimers, and just finding a way. Gets Wah here. That's a giant improvement. And it's just impossible to leave him off also. So I'm 5, 6, and 7.
Which horses do Ray use? Do Ray learn grammar? Find out after the 9th race from Western Fair, as this field is lining up. 2-1 favorite, the 7 BJ Savannah, 5-2 on the 3 Angora Sealster, 4-1 the 5 Sentinel Sealster off stride before the start. Angora Sealster, the rest are off and trotting. AJ Ricochet from the outside leaves out, as does Sentinel Sealster to the inside. PC Heisenberg makes it 3 across as PC Heisenberg grabs the lead into that first turn. On the outside of him, Sentinel Sealster wide still. AJ Ricochet is moving up the inside, comes Speed and Glide to that opening quarter. 5th away then Talbot Creek Susie, a long ways back to Airborne Sealster and Angora Sealster as they go on to that opening panel. There's 5 of them trotting down the back stretch, led by PC Heisenberg. In front here by a length and a quarter through a 30-second opening panel. Sentinel Sealster sits the pocket. Speed and Glide is back third, then 2.5 lengths off the lead, circling the far turn first time. Out and moving from 5th. Uncovered, marching up and advancing first over Talbot Creek Susie. Into contention now, BJ Savannah catches the field, turning into that stretch first time. Still leading the way, PC Heisenberg. Outside, now up to 3rd. And marching up, Talbot Creek Susie, second up in that flow. AJ Ricochet catching that cover, 3rd over BJ Savannah, 102-1. The halftime, 32-1 that second quarter to the back stretch. Talbot Creek Susie narrowly in front from PC Heisenberg to the inside second. Room to tip out for Sentinel Sealster as AJ Ricochet is chasing cover and dropping back to the 3/4 pole. Circling by that staller comes BJ Savannah up the inside. Speed and Glide past 3/4 though. 131-1. Talbot Creek Susie has a jump on him. Leads by 2.25. Sentinel Sealster trying to circle past BC Eisenberg as they battle for second. Then it's AJ Ricochet wide of Speed and Glide towards the back. BJ Savannah 8 lengths off the leader. Talbot Creek Susie, who's pouring it on at 15-1. Talbot Creek Susie strolling to the line clear here by at least 5 lengths in the end. PC Heisenberg second from Sentinel Sealster in 1-something time for the 9th. Not 143-3, folks. 15-1. None of us had him. But if we look,
I don't know. Obviously, I have no clue at Western Fair currently.
if we look back at the, oh, this is one of those horses that dropped the claiming tag, and then all of a sudden was just incredibly good.
It was only 73-1 last time, so if you took 15-1, good for you.
You clearly saw something there. That race did not. Well, then again, when the 3 and the 4 break, there's not really much left in that race. That race is basically left to its own devices. And suffice it to say, those devices were not good.
Good price if you had it. Good luck. Good job. Trust me.
There's probably now $12 left in that pick 4. But more importantly, who does Ray like in the first leg of the Woodbine, Mohawk Park pick 4, early pick 4, not the late pick 4, but the early pick 4. I'm 4 deep to start. Rock this way. He got a perfect trip last time, but he can get a perfect trip again and still kick home strongly. This horse is at least a contender at this level, and I think for that reason he's a use. The 3 external, if he can work out the Jameson trip and sneak up the inside like he did last time, except be a bit closer to the lead, he might have a shot. He came home 26 and change to finish 5th. Albeit he was behind horses, still gained ground, could possibly be a factor here looking back to March 17th this horse won, going wire to wire, so is somewhat live in a sense. That was also his first start back in about a month, so I give him a bit of a mulligan. JJ Mystic Storm, though, I think is the most intriguing of all of them. Richard Moreau's been on this binge of claiming these horses out of these condition ranks and just having them. They just improve so tremendously. Is it Friday yet? Was the one in particular to my memory that is what, like 9 straight or 7 straight? What happened to that horse?
Just lost last week, but had won 7 in a row, yes.
Yeah, 7 in a row. That horse was incredibly sharp. This horse seems like a repeat of that, exiting those claiming races. The only issue, though, is he might be too far off the pace, or maybe he was so far off the pace because the pace was usually hot in those races. I don't know. I'm just theorizing at this point.
Though. That's a huge difference.
That could make a huge difference, too. But again, also the fact that he moves into Moreau's barn, and Moreau is he's the best trainer on the circuit, so that's, of course, going to make him worth using. And finally, the 8 Humboldt. This horse he came home pretty strongly last week to finish 2nd, and that was this. All these horses are coming in off of a few weeks layoff, so they might not be as tuned up as they should be. That said, that's also a decent race for a couple weeks off Humboldt put in, and in the event that the pace is somewhat hot, which it could be, because you got Kazimoto to the outside, Tuxedo Bay probably forwardly placed, and so on and so forth. Hurricane Beach, too, if he's on his game, is going to guarantee a fast pace. Then it could set up for Humboldt. Could set up for a bunch of others, too. 1, 3, 6, 8 for me to start this early pick 4 at Woodbine, Mohawk Park. We move on to the second leg. It's the 5th. Non-winners of 3 or 60,000 lifetime. We got 10 horses lining up here. And to start us off, Mike, you're digging a bit here. You're 5 deep.
I think it's a very difficult race. Non-winners of 3, and a lot of these horses have been hanging at this condition, or racing at different levels. I'm going to try 5 deep here, using the 1 Swellingdom. This horse comes from London, raced extremely well last time from the 8 hole, just got beat a nose. Prior to that, had raced here at Woodbine. Was trying speed, had a 55 and 4/2 on the lead. No chance in that race. Draws well here. We'll use this horse on the comeback. The 3 Rockin' Fantasy raced very well Monday night, just missed from the 9 hole against a sharp winner who was bet. So, this horse draws inside, moves up, which I like. I like the confidence. I like the fact that the horse is sharp. Definite use. The 5, Jilly's Boy. This horse is a little bit hidden in here. It's had bad posts, but won at this level back in March. If you look back at the March 2nd, March 15 lines, this horse fits. The 6, Western Phil, acclimated last time after coming from Pocono and faced better horses in that race. I would think this horse is probably going to be the favorite in here for Moreau and Waugh. And the 9, Penzance Hanover, raced very well off a layoff. Hadn't raced since December. Ended up 3rd against Kazimoto, who blew out that race. This horse, depending on a little bit of a setup, can get a piece in here off that last race. So 1, 3, 5, 6, 9.
Some of those numbers sound familiar when I look over at Mr. Rodnington's Pickett. picks. I put together the words picks and ticket. And that is how you make a fence. But Rod, you're 3 deep using some of those horses.
Yeah, I'm going 3 deep here. Start with the 3 Rockin' Fantasy. I like that start coming back from London, come from way back. It was a quick half, but I think the horse fits. And from the inside, I'm not a big fan of whoever this is driving, but I think the horse deserves to be used. And
how do you know if you're not a fan if you don't even know who it is?
Well, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
I don't know.
I might become a bandwagon fan. Who knows? But right now, I'm not.
Okay.
So, I'm still using the horse. I think the horse is good enough, coming off a good race. So, there's that. The 6 Western Phil. This one, perfect trip last week. This horse likes to leave and sit up close. Second start for Moreau, so I do think this horse deserves to be played and is probably going to get bet, like Mike said. Then the 9, Penzance Hanover. I don't have much to add. Second start back off the layoff. That was a good first start and, really got stretched out in that race. So I think you should expect an even better effort tomorrow night, 3-6-9.
I'm straying a touch from you, Rod. I agree on the 3. I could care less who's driving. This horse could make William Laidler look like the greatest driver on earth if the horse is good enough. The 9, Penzance Hanover, also seems like a very sneaky price play here, as does the 3rd horse I used, which Mike pointed out, the 5, Gillies Boy. There's nothing wrong with that last race he put in, especially off of a 2-week layoff. Parked the entire way from the 10-hole, dropped back, faltered as you would from the 10-hole. Prior to that, first over and just kind of hanged. Before that, then was a sloppy track. This horse has excuses. That's the point here. He has excuses. If he can work out a trip that just does not put him at a disadvantage, he could have a shot in this race. And that said, that puts me at 3-5-9. I'm not a big fan of the 6 Western Phil, but he could certainly improve second start. Shipping up, I don't really think that race is as good as it might look. But then again, I don't follow the circuit. I don't know if that means much.
It's Moreau, and those are better horses than these horses. That last race, Regal Sun, Single White Sock would blast this field.
Single White Sock would?
Yes.
Single White Sock. I'd have to.
The only problem I have with the horse is the dates. The dates are bad, but that's a better race than this one.
I got it. Just from what I know about Single White Sock, I don't want to touch that horse.
Well, Single White Sock is in the 7th race. You're telling me this horse isn't racing well? I mean, you'll see.
We'll see when we get to the 7th race, but we're going to the 6th race first. Hold your horses, Mike. Okay. Because we're talking about the horse animal, but then there's the idiot. Oh, God. Sometimes they just fall into your lap. Rod would know what I mean. The 6th race. So non-winners of 5 trot. Person 19,000 going postward here. We got 1, 6, 8 horses lining up. And to start us off, again, Rod, you're the deepest of all of us.
Yeah, I'm 4 deep here. I'll start with the 1, Mighty Nicky. This is a stone closer. Last time, coming back half in 56-2 or 56-1, I thought it was a good start. Maybe this horse against this group should be a little bit closer, in my opinion. I think he's going to be a little bit closer, especially with the rail draw. If that's the case and this horse can still get home like he has been, then, you definitely got to play this horse. Go down mid-pack to the 5 or to the 4. One of the few. This is a long shot play. Jody Jamieson jumps on. I think maybe this horse, before the break last week, this horse was showing some decent lines there. That second start down, back half 55-4. That's a pretty good mile. And at 108-1, you're going to get some big odds. I don't think you're going to get quite that, but last week from the inside, maybe just wasn't comfortable from that post, but maybe Jody gets this thing out in the flow and gets rolling. If he does, I think he could be a dangerous price play. The 5, Upvote Hanover, made his debut over at Mohawk this year, coming down from Redo. Colin Johnson, second start. Doug McNair driving. This one should be following up cover. Has shown speed in the past as well, so you don't really know what you're going to get with this one as far as early in the race, but I think the horse plays. And then the 6, Jake, off Lasix here. 2 qualifiers, horse race good in that last qualifier, I thought was pretty impressive. Bob McClure picked this horse over others, so, Luke Blyhorse, he's been red hot. He's got a high percentage barn throughout the year anyways, and he's just getting his stable back going again. And this one, I think, he was a stakes colt last year, so I think you got to use him even being first start off the layoff. 1, 4, 5, 6.
Wow, Bob McClure picked Luke Blaze horse over everyone. Oh, geez, it's kind of like asking why would Jim Marone Jr. pick this Brett Belling horse over everyone else. That said, though, Mike, you're 3 deep in this race in somewhat agreement.
Well, yeah, I'm using 3 of the ones that out of the 4 he used. I think the one's very obvious. Mighty Nicky looks like, he got a field he can beat. Ran into a stakes horse last time, and then prior to that was ran into Achille Duhara, who was chalk in both of those races. 4-back did win off a trip and beat better there. Just a must-use post relief. Too many angles to skip that one. The 5 up Boat Hanover raced okay last time from the 7 hole, same level. Has won 5 times this year, won 6 times last year. Those races at Rito are not bad.
Well, that's coming from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in love with those kinds, but I like McNair sitting on this one again. And this race really isn't that, stellar. And then I'll use the 6, Jake, defensively. I'm not necessarily crazy about this horse because he tends to hang in the stretch. Blay usually has him ready. 2 qualifiers. If you look back, the horse was racing against horses like, What the Hill, back in October of last year. He's obvious. 1, 5, 6.
This race, to me, seems like it's going to be a pace race because there's so many deep closers. And that said, I definitely take the 6, Jake. This horse likes to be forwardly placed. I take the 2, Dancer Hall, who has won on the lead before, and that last qualifier isn't necessarily terrible. He was second to Jake, who just sat the pocket to him. Also takes the Hopples off, which is kind of an interesting move. So maybe that'll help him stay flat. Who knows? This horse does have a lot of speed and could get things his own way. The horse that's kind of interesting to me, though, is the 3, Radical Road. Was bet down to be the favorite obscurely in the last time, and I don't hang slightly, but 2-4 Roadie has also been racing really well, and he just kind of split through horses late to go by them all and win that race. So that said, that wasn't a terrible effort from Radical Road. He could have raced better, but that mile shows that he might be close enough to the pace where he might be a contender just for that reason. I think there's too many deep closers here to really count them as a factor, especially since there's not a ton of pace. So I'm kind of on the opposite end of the handicapping spectrum here, as I usually am, and I'm going to go 2, 3, 6, focusing on horses that will be up close. This brings us then to the last leg. The last leg, as Mike was so anxiously wanting to talk about, is the 7th race. The 7th race is a non-winners of $10,000 of the last 5 starts, purse of $18,000 on the line. We got 9 horses going posted here, and Mike, start off with you. Wait, you just said single White Sox racing so well, you don't even use them.
Because he's stepping up
okay.
into a race that's more difficult, but did lose to Major Hill last time, lost to Regal Sun 2-back. Faced Modern Reflection, who's racing in the preferred later. That horse is facing legitimate horses. You could use this horse, but the problem is he doesn't necessarily like to win. He likes to, get a lot of shares. I mean, you can look at his lifetime record and see that, but he still made $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 2, Michael Jordan in the race. Giant post switch, 2-back, steamrolled a field from the back, and that's sort of like a hybrid condition. These are better horses. But this horse is a good horse. He's always raced well at this level. 7 wins last year, made $75,000. I like the post relief. It's going to be hidden in the race, and the price is going to be fine. The 4 Classy Dragon, likely favorite, drops out of numbers of 20,000. Faced, Is It Friday Yet? Shades of Bay. Those are all top level horses. 2-back was second to Cool Rock. who got a better trip in there. Then lost to Fancourt whenever that horse got loose on the front. Draws well, has had a decent year, must use. And then I'm going to try the 7, a boy named Suze, who might be a little bit high in here, but is another one going well for Moreau, another claimer stepping into one of the bigger races, has 5 wins this year, 3 in a row, came home 26-3 last time. And again, I just do not want to get beat by this one. 2, 4, and 7.
Rod, you kind of stray a touch too deep.
Yeah, a little bit. The 4 Classy Dragon, I'm going to use this one. I think this one's pretty obvious to have on ticket on the drop. Been racing pretty well, I think, against much tougher. Definitely fits at this level and could pull off a win. He's going to get that. And then the 9, I'm throwing this one on Major Hill. Good race last time. I think fits at this level. He's going to need some fractions up front, which I think he might be able to get in this race. There's several in here that are kind of just sucking along and going with other horses, and I don't really like that. But Major Hill, he's one, he faced tougher basically every start this year up until that last start, and he ended up winning. And I think he's a player in this race, but, Post is against him. So if things go his way, I think at a decent price from the outside, you're going to get okay value on this horse. So 4 and 9.
I'm 3 deep here in agreement with the 2, Michael Jordan. I despise Classy Dragon. He seems like fake class to me just because 2 starts back, he really should have won that race against Cool Rock. And not only that, last time he was on the lead back on February 24th, should have won that race to Traker, Hanover. Sure, those are better horses, but again, I feel like it's just going to be overbet and not really worth the price in this race. But Michael Jordan definitely will be dropping, and he's dropping in class. And 2 starts back, he raced incredibly well, albeit he also got the fractions needed. But that said, as Rod was talking about, this race could definitely set up for a horse like Michael Jordan or a horse like Major Hill, who's another one I use. But an interesting one for me, and this is the 3rd horse I use, is the 6 Velocity Driven. Last week, went to the lead. Doesn't usually do that. His preferred style is from off the pace. If I recall, this is a horse that was is this the horse that was always there but can never get by, or am I thinking of another one?
No. I mean, this horse is a bit all or nothing, but has 3 wins this year already. I mean, so
and then
only 1 second. I don't think that's the right horse.
That last race in particular, that just stands out from all of his lines. I have no idea why he would go to the lead. I don't know what benefit it would be, but that's still a decent mile he put in, even though he crawled home in 30 and 1. He was catalyzing the pace, basically. He made 2 moves, essentially. And so long as he's driven a bit more conservatively, he could definitely have a shot here, especially if that last line's an indicator that he's carrying a bit more power than usual. So here's my ticket then for this Big 4. I am 1-3-6-8 with 3-5-9 with 2-3-6 with 2-6-9, 21.60 for 20 cents. Mike, your ticket.
5-6-7 with 1-3-5-6-9 with 1-5-6 with 2-4-7, $27.
And Rodney, your ticket.
1-5-6-8 with 3-6-9 with 1-4-5-6 with 4-9. It's 1880.
All right, 1880.
That seems odd.
That's 1920.
1920. My bad.
That seems better. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was looking over at my London when I wrote it. My London was 2880 until the scratch.
Yes.
And yet again, we learned that Rod cannot read. This 10th race. Nope. This 10th race is London is coming up, and Rod, as a super high five expert as you are, because for those of you who don't know, within the last week, Rod has given out approximately 647 super high fives.
None this week.
All of which cashed for a whopping
like 34, like within a 2-week period, though. So he's still good.
All of which paid off a whopping $647. So needless to say, you broke even. This race that's coming up, would you be interested in a high five?
No, I think this race is chalky.
Okay, so Meadowlands pick 4.
Yeah.
$50,000 guaranteed pool to kick off this sequence. Well, not to kick off this sequence, but
Oh,
within.
Are you going to call the race at London?
Yes.
All right, then we're waiting on Meadowlands.
Okay, fine. Meadowlands, I'm sorry. You're going to have to...
You keep waiting on them.
They're
gonna get tired of waiting.
They'll understand.
I don't want an interrupted segment.
Oh. He doesn't want interrupted.
Interrupt this segment is the name of my new show.
We get halfway through leg 1 and then I got to restart.
Meadowlands pick 4 still alive on NahooPicks.com, just in case you were wondering.
Oh yes, I expected updates and you haven't provided me any, so please tell me what's happening.
You're too busy talking about other things.
Are you trying to make me feel bad right now?
Not at all.
How is the ticket live so far? What have you got?
Well, the 4 won the first leg.
Sorry,
I'm
at
losing it here. Oh, I don't know, maybe $8 or something like that. I have to look. 6, yeah. So 2-1, 2-1, but neither one was the favorite. So Blue Moon Stride, and then the Burke Horse won the second race. You need stones. You need stones, Ray. That should be like your ultimate punch play.
I thought we established the whole knocking on wood and me avoiding kidney stones.
You need stones. You need them. You need stones.
Well, I mean...
You need stones to play this game.
Or cajonies.
In this race...
Jay is silent.
Thank you, Mr. Literate.
I have 1, 2, 3 here to continue on.
In the third leg.
The 3 is currently 44-1, if anyone's interested in such things.
Well, we have 1:15 seconds to post at London, so I think you gotta hold your horses.
Well,
I did it again!
I was chalk there.
Hold your... Just sometimes a great idea comes through the gears of the consciousness and then pops out the mouth machine.
Rod, if you were going to give a cold $4 high five, how would you play?
A $4?
Why not? I got 4 in my account.
Let's see. I would probably key the 1.
Mm-hmm. Rod, 30 seconds. You're a master.
2-4.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
4. 5.
5 scratched. That don't help me.
5 and 7 are scratched, aren't they?
You're junk. I'm not even punching it. You can't even figure out stuff's not scratched.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the program.
Here's the ticket I'm playing.
Yes, thank you, Ray. Help me.
2 with 1-4 with 1-4 with 1-3-4-8-9 for 20 cents. I played it, and I'm betting the 2 to win at 11-1.
Good bet. I like it. I'm gonna punch this one
because they're lining up. However,
1, 4, 2, 9, 6. $4 straight super high. I'm punching $4 super high fives at London. They would love that I'm adding to their handle in such a way.
Everyone has their own way.
I played a 20 center that cost $9.60.
Everyone has their own way of demonstrating a midlife crisis. This field, though, is in motion.
How appropriate.
And approaching the start. Off and pacing, St. Lad's Pixie leaving out, as is Just Blitzed. Just Blitz going to grab the lead from St. Lad's Pixie second. Hawaiian Drummond's third as they move on to that turn. And EL Avengers wide of Thaleen to the inside, as is Nadia Can goes third to last, dropping back second to last EL Avenger. And last away there as they move to the backstretch. Trisha's Wish in front here. Just Blitzed by 2. St. Lad's Pixie sits second from Hawaiian Drummond third, who's wide at such, throwing her head a bit. Then it's back and forth as they go on to that opening quarter to Thaleen. Then it's Nadia Can Go, EL Avenger, Trisha's Wish. Single file, no movement outside yet, as Just Blitz, the 8-5 second choice, leads St. Lad's Pixie by a length and 3/4. Here comes out of 5th, first over, Thaleen, trying to flush Hawaiian Drummond out of 3rd. That's exactly what he does into the stretch first time. Hawaiian Drummond's out and moving first up. St. Lad's Pixie sits the pocket on that cover. Thaleen second over to the inside. Then as they move on past the half, comes EL Avengers. They move, or Nadia Can Go. EL Avengers second, third over in that flow, trailing the field. Trisha's Wish as they move to the backside. Just Blitzed and Hawaiian Drummond are going to engage to the backstretch and to the 3/4 pole, tracked by St. Lad's Pixie behind them. They're then followed by Thaleen, stride for stride with Nadia Can Go to the inside, and Hawaiian Drummond cannot clear from St. Lad's Pixie to the inside, and Just Blitzed on the lead as they move on that final turn. Hawaiian Drummond holding the lead. Just Blitz to the inside. Here comes St. Lad's Pixie, popping pocket and moving 3 wide to the top of the stretch. They got to catch, though. Hawaiian Drummond with the narrow lead. Inside, Just Blitz battles back as these two. Hawaiian Drummond with the advantage. Just Blitz drops back. He's lost the battle. St. Lad's Pixie to the center of the track, but Hawaiian Drummond leads to the line, and Hawaiian Drummond's going to get there. Hawaiian Drummond from Just Blitz, or St. Lad's Pixie, then Just Blitzed, and it's tight for 4th. That was close.
I caught the high 5.
I almost did.
Yeah, you didn't really catch anything.
Yeah, you caught the high 5 that you couldn't even give out.
If the 6 gets 5th, I almost had it for $4. Because I think the 4 got second.
Let's see what this order was.
It's close.
2.
2 got second. 1, 2, 4, 9.
1, 2,
and then
1, 2,
8.
4, 9, 8. If the 2 wins, I have it.
Yeah, but 2's junk.
Yeah. 2 got the perfect setup, too. Oh, well.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I mean, the horse race well.
Oh, was there a pylon violation?
1, 2, 4, 9, and then 8. You have 8, Rod? You probably had all.
Yeah, I did.
How could you even think the 6 would get 5th? What are you, a nerd?
I don't know. I was trying to get it punched. Rod couldn't even tell me what horse wasn't scratched. And then he goes, I won. You know what I mean? Like, Rod, who we playing? Oh, I hit it.
I said 1 with.
Junk.
And then I said 2 and 4.
That's all I got to say.
And then I threw the 9 in there. So, yeah, I gave it all out.
Yeah, you did.
And
Not to me, though.
And it paid $26.
It's going to pay close to that.
Yeah. My high 5 if it came in, I'd be a billionaire. A billionaire. Meadowlands pick 4. I still think there was a pylon violation, Mike. I don't know about you.
I don't know.
That's like one of those like real old. This reminds me at the Meadowlands. Well, when we were in the grandstands, we were walking back. I don't know if you guys noticed this, because I know I noticed it. Andy Miller won a race going wire to wire because last Saturday the front was the place to be because there was a giant headwind, and this guy is walking back from the grandstand, and he just starts going, I don't like the looks of that. You can ask me any question about that race. I don't want you to say anything to me about that race. I didn't like the looks of any of it. And it's like, if that wasn't the typical horse player, that was almost that guy does not come anywhere close to the F the 6 guy on Hambletonian Day I saw. Does not come close, but it's up there. It's up there. I do have to say. And it's a humbling reminder of really who goes to the track. All the fun ones go to the track. That's what it is. The 20 cent.
My favorite guy at the Meadowlands was like the guy that's standing next to the grandstand smoking this giant joint. It was great.
The 20-cent high 5 pays, let's see,
What'd you get, Rod?
$60.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 57.23.
He'll take that.
Yeah, but mine would have paid $5,000 if the one hadn't gone inside so many pilots. That's for those listening. I'm not being a poor sport. I'm more laughing at my own misery, as well as the fact that earlier in the card there was a pylon violation, but it was declared not a pylon violation. In the world of theater, we call that
What did the pick 4
a joke.
pay?
The pick 4.
$452.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But the Meadowlands pick 4 could pay more than that.
Can we go there now, Rod? Are we allowed?
Yep.
Okay. So this pick 4 starts off with the 7th race, as it does most times. It would start with the 8th, but there's not many races anymore because all the other racetracks are saying, hey, it's my turn to have races. And then the Meadowlands has to go, okay, we're sorry. We're trying, though. And so it's a pretty tough race, in all honesty, to kick off this sequence. And I can send this right off to Rod because he's pure evidence that this is a very tough race. It's a 4-year-old open as these horses are getting ready for the Graduate Series, which is a 4-year-old stakes series that goes across the Goral tracks, Meadowlands and Tioga. I don't know if it goes to Vernon, but I know it goes to Meadowlands and Tioga. And so, Rod, there's 8 horses in this race to start off the pick 4, and you take 5 of them.
Yep. 5 deep. And
5 out of 8.
Yep.
Okay.
The 1 Highlighter coming off of 2 straight wins at Pocono. Very sharp first over last time. This horse fits in with these horses that, have been racing pretty lightly this year, other than Western Joe, who's got 11 starts. This one, quite a few starts under his belt. Draws the rail. He might be a little bit of a small track horse, but I think he fits in this group and looks like he matured a little bit over the winter as well. So I'm going to throw that one on. The 2 Western Joe is obvious. Been racing against the older horses in the opens or preferreds at the Meadowlands. True Meadowlands horse. So, he's obvious. The 5 Bags to Riches. I throw this one on. Second start off of month layoff, and Andy McCarthy stays on. Closed into a pretty quick back half last time. I thought raced really well. He's got to step his game up just a little bit, but this horse shows that he's capable. He paced 49 and change over at Dover in December, so he won over 170,000 last year as well. I think you got to respect his chances a little bit here. And he could trip out as well. The 7 Beyond Delight. I throw this one on. 3 out of 4 wins in the last 5 starts over at Yonkers. Came to the Meadowlands last week, faced older horses, just got beat ahead. He did trip out there, but he had to brush to the lead in a quick opening quarter. So, a repeat of that, he should be pretty close. And then the 8 Boogie Shuffle. This one, first start of the year. Definite player here. Andy Miller. Outside post is a little concerned, but if he gets some fractions to chase, I think this horse should be close. And the qualifiers were really good at, this horse raced in the Breeders' Crown Final last year. So, another one, you got to respect him. Only concern is the layoff. So 1, 2, 5, 7, 8.
You only like the 5 Bags to Riches because the horse's sire is Roddy's Bags again. And I know that's the reason why. None of this $170,000 earnings stuff. None of this 8 wins and 17 starts stuff. No, you just saw your name and it was love at first sight.
Yeah, sure.
That said, Mike, I'm not sure you could have an equivalent feeling about this race. However, you have a bit more of a concise feeling as you're 3 deep.
3 deep, the 2 Western Joe, very obvious. Just got beat last time, despite coming home 26-2. Has been facing better ones, likely sub even money. The 3 Me So Fast got scratched in the slop last time at Pompano. Comes north, stakes horse last year, more shares than wins, but Lasix has certainly improved, and I'm curious how the big track's going to suit. This horse usually does well there. I don't mind that one. And then the 7, Beyond Delight, has been racing well ever since Pelling took over. I'm not sure if this horse is necessarily as good as the top 2, but, the speed and, this horse was a really good 2-year-old. Hard to ignore the class of this one. I'll try him also. And I think you're going to get a price, 237.
I agree with the 2. I agree with the 7. I throw on the 1, and those make the 3 horses I have in this race. Not really much to add because we've covered most of the ground in this race. Highlighter is improving in form, so he's definitely worth using. Western Joe has raced well here all season. He's worth using. And the 7 Beyond Delight, I was a bit hesitant to use, but he was against older horses last time. He only lost narrowly. He was the favorite. He came home in 26 and change. He's going to be towards the front, and that all those factors could probably play into his benefit. So that said, I'm going to be 1-2-7 in this first leg. Second leg, non-winners at 3,500. This is where it gets kind of interesting, perhaps. That is. 10 horses lining up. This is an elimination for the Dash for the G-Notes series, and to start it off, I got 2 choices. I'm going to start off with Rod, because Rod, you're pretty confident about this one.
Yeah, one horse in here, the 7. I'm not.
Why?
I was going to try to say the name, but I'm not going to. The 7.
Brigadier
in leg
Bronsky.
2. Sure. The 7 in leg 2 is who I'm taking.
Rod can't
Second
read.
start in the U.S. from Australia. This horse last week. It was a quick race, fast fractions, but that was first start since June of last year. I think this horse has to be used in here. This is a group of, just average, okay horses. And, second start, this horse has everything going the right way. Trainer's been red hot since debuting last week in the U.S., so I'm going to go ahead and use this one and key off of this horse.
I'm not sure how red hot you can be with 2 starts, but I will take your word for it.
The Meadowlands, FYI.
Mike, you're not Rod, thank God, but Mike, you're taking the exact opposite route, and you're taking multiple horses. You're 5 deep.
5 deep. I understand what Rod's getting at with the 7. The problem is the horse is very lightly raced the last 2 years. Came out of a fast race, but is going to be ridiculously overbet off that line. And a lot of times, these Dash for the G-Notes races, a lot of guys kind of wait for these and drop in. So I'm going to be 5 deep. The 1, Mr. Truth, drops from numbers of 5,000, had been racing at upper levels here, and, is capable. The horse has 3 seconds already this year, a little soft on the win end, but gets post relief and a drop. The 2 Pierce, third start back for Zurich, comes off the freehold race from the rail, but raced well there at 1-9. I like the draw. I think that the horse should race well from where he's, at on, and the big track doesn't hurt at all. Has a 50-1 mark at Lexington Lifetime, so nothing wrong with that one. The 4, Drunk on Your Love, another one dropping, another one getting post relief, won 7 times last year. This is as low as this horse has been for eons. Can win on memory. I already said I'm using the 7, and then I'm going to use the 9, May I Cruise West. I thought was very good last time on the front. Just got picked off late by the Fire Within. Another one that doesn't necessarily like to win, but Brett Miller seemed to help this one last time. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9.
Glad you were able to reboot the system there. I'm 3 deep here. I'm going to again go 1-2-7. Brigadier Bronsky, which again, I'm not sure why that's such a hard name to pronounce. It reads like Brigadier Bronsky. That's at least how I read it. That line is definitely probably going to make this horse over bet, especially considering too that the front was the place to be last week, and it's not like that horse's mile was necessarily that stellar. He hanged to Bruce's Magic, who just took the field wire to wire in that race, which I didn't even see that one happening. But all that said, that's still a mile that he can improve off second time off the layoff, but he's going to be pretty chalky here. To the inside, the 1, Mr. Truth, finally drops down to the level that he usually races his best at. Also draws the inside. This horse, too, is going to be a player towards the front, and all those factors put together mean he could have a chance. And then the 2, Pierce, is coming in off a decent line at Freehold. 1 against numbers of 2,500 after finishing third, going first over against numbers of 4,000 at Harris, Philadelphia. This horse definitely belongs at this class level, and moving to the bigger track should in no way really harm him. The question is just going to be what kind of trip he's able to work out from the inside, which presumably could be a good one. 1-2-7 for me again in the second leg. Third leg, race number 9, non-winners of 3 or 40,000 lifetime. It's already that time of year. We're starting to see these old stakes horses coming back, and some of them getting ready for some of the big dances, including the one horse that all of us use, the Inside. This is the plan. I'm a big deal. So, Mike, to start with you think this is a pretty clear-cut race, including those two?
Yeah, too deep. The entry's a must-use. Pretty much impossible to leave them off with their both of them have stakes lines at 2. The 1-8 gets Lasix, the connections. Ryder usually has them ready. The one, this is the plan. Has 2 really nice qualifiers. Came home sub 28. These horses could show their class, but the horse I like the best is the 6 odds on Del Rey, who raced very well last time against a horse named Slip and Skip, who's 2 for 2 with very fast miles, sub 52 miles. This horse raced down the middle of the racetrack last time to just miss. Got beat by 3/4 of a length, came home in 26-2. Any repeat of that race, I don't care what some of these other ones come back, he's probably going to win 1-6.
Rod, dispute that.
I can't really.
Oh, okay.
I'm using the 1-6. The ones completely obvious could win. You're not getting that morning line price on them. The 6, same story. Second star at the layoff, I think you got to use. And then I'm going to throw the 7 on Pepper Guy. This one coming from Pocono and Yonkers. Coming off some good races. The way he's been racing, that kind of suits the big track a little bit better. So I think, this horse, he's got 8 wins in 17 starts. And, his mark as a 3 and 4-year-old, both at the Meadowlands. So this horse can get around this track just fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw that one on as well, in addition to the 1 and 6.
Yeah, well, I won't. I'm 1-6. Final leg of this sequence is race number 10. Now we're at 3,500. I got nothing else to add to that, boys. This is another elimination for the dash for the G-Notes. And this one, I think this is probably the leg I'm going to try and get a price out of. I do mean try, because this race, it seems like it's going to fall apart in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe my horse will end up being the favorite. Who knows? But before I get to that, Rod, you're going to go searching for some gold.
Yeah, I'm looking for some things to happen here. I'll start with the 2 Mr. Euroman. First over last week. Really good race. In against similar once again, and he fits at this level pretty well. He might be first over again, but I think he plays no matter what, especially off that last line. A little bit inflated, but deserves to be used. The 3, Kings Barnes. This one last time, this was another one first over Pocono. 2 back, this horse raced really well, got beat half a length. He left, got shuffled, and popped back out late. So he had to 2 move there, and I thought it was a really good race. If he comes back to that with Yannick driving tomorrow, this horse has a big shot. The 4, the Fire Within, Jim Marone Jr., I don't know if he picked this horse or what happened there, but Jim Marone, first over last time, horse raced well. Same class. He's 2 of the last 3 at this level. He's been first and second. If he trips out, I think he's got a big chance. And I think he's going to be a decent price as well. The 7, Transformative, 2 qualifiers. Before that, back in August, this horse was racing well at Pocono. This one's a long shot player. He was ready to go, but then he put that qualifier in the day before that race, so he obviously had to scratch out of there. But, I think this horse definitely could get there at a price if things set up the right way. And then the 9, I will make you say, wow. Todd Buter, Andy McCarthy, coming from Pocono. Good line last time, I thought. Not really his style of racing, I don't think, which is why they brought him over to the big track. This horse, took a mark of 50 and change last year. He's got a win over at the Meadowlands this year. 2 wins, actually. So he fits, just needs a little bit of a setup and needs some speed to happen early, I think. So 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9.
All right, welcome back to Planet Earth, Rod. So we're on to the last leg of this sequence, and Mike, you're 3 deep, and you're somewhat concurrent.
Yeah, I like a couple of those. Rod's correct about the 3. Kingsbarns raced very well, 2 back. Then went to Pocono and, got stuck outside. No chance. I like the switch to Jingra here also, the inside draw. Must use. The 2, the Fire Within. Rod mentioned this one. This horse steamrolled first up last time to be able to catch a horse on the front. Raced really well there. I like the post draw. Definite use in here. I don't like the 7. I'm not sure how this horse is winning numbers at 12,000 last 5 at Pocono in August and is now in for 10,000 here. No, thank you. I do not want any part of this one. But I will use the 9. I will make you say wow off the drop from Pocono, and the horse had bad post there. The big track definitely suits this one better. 249.
Whew. I'm cleansing myself of my sin. I'm 3 deep in this last leg. I'm surprised none of you guys used the 1 Joey Goodfellow. He's coming off a decent mile after not racing since November. He was first up, then he sprinted to the lead in 27-4, and then he kind of quit, but still, he sprinted to the lead in 27-4, going first over against non-winners of 3, makes a second start off the layoff, moves to the bigger track, draws the rail, lots of positives going for this horse. That could potentially improve and do so at a price. We talked about the 3 Kingsbarns. We're all pretty much in agreement with this one. 2 starts back, raced really well here at this level. Then looking back further, has raced well against better and just seems to do his best racing here at the Meadowlands. And the other thing with Kingsbarns, he was 3rd to Talent Soup. That's the thing that matters most. Talent Soup was much better than that field, and Kingsbarns, for that reason, is probably better than most of this field. And the 4, the Fire Within, not a big fan of this one, at least 2 or 3 starts back. 2 starts back was not really that good, but then last out really popped. Oh, look at that mile. First up, wins.
The Talent Soup race, though.
I wasn't, but when you're 3rd in a Talent Soup race to 9th in a Talent Soup race, that's not really Talent Soup in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You get what Mike's on board with what I'm saying. But the 4, the Fire Within, that last mile in particular stands out. Could have been because it was a slow first half. I don't know. I don't really care about it when you get into the semantics of it. The horse is in decent form, and with the right trip could definitely be a factor here. So I'm 1, 3, 4 in this last leg of the pick 4, which makes my ticket go as follows. I'm 127 with 127 with 16 with 134, $27.50. Mike, your ticket.
237 with 1, 2, 4, 7, 9 with 16 with 349. It's 45.
Rodnington.
1, 2, 5, 7, 8 with 7 with 1, 6, 7 with 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. It's $37.50.
That said, this does it for this week's edition of North American Harness Update. Next week is the Derby, but we don't necessarily care about that because the harness rate.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we will next week. I haven't decided yet, but unfortunately, Frank Cotolo did not make it onto this week's show.
Imagine that.
But we're gonna try very hard to get him on next week, and hopefully he'll be with us then. But that said, I've been Ray Cotolo. He's Mike Pribozie. He's Rod Allums Jr. Make sure you check out NahooPicks.com for racing analysis every race day from Western Fair, Mohawk Park, and the Meadowlands. And also maybe you want to snag yourself some official merchandise, because let me tell you, these are some of the most comfortable shirts that I have worn in decades. And I've worn a lot of shirts in the last few decades, and so that merits the opinion that I have. Also, you'll find racing not racing recaps. You'd find replays of the show, which you might be listening to this on the website, in which case this seems a bit redundant. But also, keep in mind, Cal Extra. Look out for the Cal Extra tomorrow. It's going to be the last one of their current racing season, and you'll find that on Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. What?
Next week will be.
Next week will be. Now, see, that's exactly what I said. You must have misheard me. So keep a lookout for the Cal Extra. Again, I have been Ray Cotolo. They're Mike Pribozie and Rod Allums Jr. And wherever the moon may rise, the sun may set too. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I will reside.